They wanted to have a threesome, and she didn't want to, and they started fighting her. She wanted to leave, and they wouldn't let her leave.
Police say she was shot, kidnapped, raped, and left for dead. On your screen right here are the three suspects.
Camellia Blackman was her, and so her boyfriend picked up a gun and shot her. She was severely wounded. They placed her in a car, and as they was driving to Forest Avenue where they dumped the body.
In this video, we're looking at 3 cases where love turned deadly, stories of women who trusted the wrong man and paid the ultimate price. In the first case, a young woman believed she was meeting her boyfriend, only to be trapped in a sinister plan involving him and his friends. When she resisted, the night turned into a nightmare of assault and murder. In the second, a narcissistic boyfriend's obsession and control spiraled into deadly violence, leaving behind a story of manipulation, jealousy, and betrayal. And in the third, a new mother's joy was destroyed when her boyfriend's baseless claims of infidelity led to an unthinkable act of rage. These stories remind us that behind the mask of love, some boyfriends hide darkness capable of destroying lives. She was just an 18-year-old girl, full of dreams and hope for the future. On February 15, 2022, her life was brutally cut short by 3 men she believed were her friends. DeWitt Anderson, age 34, Cedric Banks, age 37, and Camellia Blackman, age 19, her boyfriend committed an unthinkable act. They raped and murdered her in cold blood because she refused to do, force with them. This wasn't a random attack, it was a calculated betrayal by those she trusted. They didn't stop at taking her innocence. They ended her life, callously discarding her body on the side of a road on Forest Avenue in Jackson, Mississippi like it meant nothing. They mercilessly attacked her, inflicting unimaginable pain and trauma. Even as she lay gravely injured and barely conscious, they violated her, showing no shred of humanity. In a final act of cold-blooded brutality, they shot her multiple times before discarding her body in a wooded area like it was nothing. Tragically, this isn't an isolated case. There are countless heartbreaking stories of women who have lost their lives simply for having the courage to say no to men who believed they were entitled to control and harm them. This case shocked the community, not only for its gruesome nature but because it revealed just how easily trust can be shattered. Who were these individuals and what drove them to commit such a heinous crime? Before we begin the story, we want to extend our deepest condolences to the friends and loved ones of Amaya Carey. This unimaginable loss has left a void that can never be filled, and our thoughts are with all those who knew and cherished her during this difficult time. This is the story of Amaya Carey and the dark truth behind her rape and killers. This story will be taking us to Jackson, Mississippi, the state's capital and largest city. Amid this backdrop of beauty and challenges, this tragic story unfolds, highlighting the human cost of the city's ongoing struggles. Amaya Carey was born on February 6, 2003 in Jackson, Mississippi. She grew up to become a remarkable young woman who touched many lives with her bright spirit and warm heart. Those who knew her best spoke of her infectious smile and natural talent for making others feel special. From an early age, Amaya discovered her passion for hairstyling. She dreamed of becoming a professional stylist, eager to help others feel beautiful and confident through her work. Her creativity and gentle nature made her perfectly suited for this calling. Life took an unexpected turn when Amaya became a mother at age 15, giving birth to her beloved son Jaden Carey on May 31, 2018. Rather than letting this challenge derail her dreams, she embraced motherhood with remarkable grace and determination. Her social media presence reflected the deep love she had for her son, sharing countless moments of joy and tender interactions between them. She also found love herself, sharing her life with a boyfriend to whom she was deeply devoted. By the way, we post true crime stories and strange cases. If this interests you, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support means a lot and helps us continue sharing this content. Despite her young age, Amaya showed incredible strength in balancing her roles as both mother and aspiring professional. She worked tirelessly toward her goals while providing the best possible life for her son. Her dedication to building a bright future for her family inspired many around her. Tragically, Amaya's life was cut short on February 15, 2022. What began as an evening out with acquaintances including 19-year-old Camellia Blackman, her boyfriend DeWitt Anderson, 34, and later joined by Cedric Banks, ended in unimaginable circumstances when they refused to respect her wishes and right to say no. The 3 men, including her boyfriend Camellia Blackman, had one twisted goal in mind: they wanted to have sex with her. They went as far as insisting that she engage in a threesome with them. However, Amaya firmly refused, standing her ground against their disturbing demand.
My investigators was able to learn from a family member that Camellia Blackman and her boyfriend, DeWitt Anderson, picked her up. They wanted to have a and she didn't want to, and they started fighting her. She wanted to leave, and they wouldn't let her leave.
She and Camellia Blackman allegedly started fighting over it. Her refusal didn't sit well with them, and what followed was the start of a heated argument. Within minutes, a heated argument erupted, quickly spiraling out of control. The situation turned deadly faster than anyone could have imagined. Amaya Carey found herself in a confrontation with Camellia and her group. Amid the chaos, DeWitt Anderson, one of the individuals involved, pulled out a gun. Without hesitation, he fired at Amaya, leaving her gravely wounded. Though she was still alive, she was in critical condition and fighting for her life. But instead of stepping in to help her or call for medical assistance, the group's actions took a shockingly cruel turn. Rather than showing even the slightest humanity, they placed Amaya's injured body into a car. What happened next is beyond comprehension. One of the men sexually assaulted her while they drove to a secluded area.
Camellia Blackman was on her, and so her boyfriend picked up a gun and shot her. She was severely wounded. They placed her in a car, and as they was driving to Forest Avenue where they dumped the body, they had sex with her in the car. At that location, after they put her out of the car, they shot her. It was told during our investigation that she was shot twice again, 2 more times, and her body was left there on scene on Forest Avenue near Clay.
Investigators later revealed that they couldn't even determine whether Amaya was still alive during the assault. The group's disregard for her life and suffering was unimaginable. Once they reached the woods, they dragged her out of the car and discarded her like she was nothing. But their cruelty didn't stop there. Cedric Banks, another member of the group, coldly raised the gun at Amaya 2 more times, ending her life in the most brutal and horrifying way possible.
Police arrest 3 people for their connection to an alleged murder in the capital city. The gruesome killing claimed the life of an 18-year-old mother.
Yeah, Maggie, the victim has been identified as Amaya Carey. On February 15th, police say she was shot, kidnapped, raped, and left for dead. On your screen right here are the 3 suspects: 34-year-old DeWitt Anderson, 19-year-old Camellia Blackman, and 37-year-old Cedric Banks. Now, according to investigators, Carey was going to pick up Blackman, who was with her boyfriend, Anderson. Police say they went to several locations that night, and at one of the stops, Blackman, Anderson, and Banks all tried to have sex with Carey. Investigators say the 18-year-old refused and got into a fight with Blackman.
This senseless act of violence revealed a level of inhumanity that shocked not only investigators but the entire community. Amaya's tragic death stands as a haunting reminder of how easily rage and entitlement can escalate into pure evil. After Amaya's disappearance in February 2022, her family immediately reported her missing, showing their deep love and concern. During the difficult weeks that followed, they never gave up hope of finding her. Tragically, 1 month of this tragic incident, remains were discovered in a wooded area off Forest Avenue in Jackson, Mississippi, though it would take until late March for positive identification to be made, an agonizing wait for those who loved her. Through careful police work and information provided by Amaya's family about who she was last seen with, investigators were able to identify suspects in the case. 3 individuals, Camellia Blackman, DeWitt Anderson, and Cedric Banks, were subsequently arrested and charged with capital murder. During the investigation, they provided statements about their involvement in the events that led to Amaya's death. These 3 people have been charged with capital murder in Mississippi for the roles they allegedly played in the kidnapping, sexual assault, and fatal shooting of Amaya Carey.
3 are facing capital murder charges after 1 teenager was sexually assaulted and killed back in February.
The true heartbreak of this story extends far beyond the immediate tragedy. A loving mother was taken from her young son Jaden, who will now grow up without her gentle guidance and boundless love. Her family lost a cherished daughter and sister. The community lost a bright light who had dreamed of using her talents in hairstyling to help others feel beautiful. Amaya's story reminds us of the importance of respecting personal boundaries and consent, while also celebrating the beautiful, loving spirit she brought to this world during her brief but meaningful life. Her legacy lives on through the memories of her kindness, determination, and most importantly, through her beloved son Jaden. This story has become a powerful reminder of the importance of respecting personal boundaries and consent. Her memory lives on through those who loved her, especially her son Jaden, who was the center of her world. Her family continues to advocate for justice and awareness to prevent similar tragedies from happening to others. She was a dedicated Air Force senior airman, a loving mother, and a woman with so much life ahead of her. But on January 3, 2025, star Michael Tucker's bright future was stolen in the most horrific way imaginable. Her boyfriend, Charles Carson Dowdy, ended her life in an act of unimaginable violence, shooting her multiple times before running her over with a vehicle. This story isn't just about tragedy, it's about honoring Star Michael's memory, shining a light on the dangers of domestic violence, and seeking justice for a life taken far too soon. Stay with us as we share her story and why it matters. This is the heartbreaking story of Star Michael Tucker, a 30-year-old senior airman in the United States Air Force. She was a beautiful, accomplished woman whose life was tragically cut short by her possessive boyfriend during a breakup. In a shocking act of violence, he shot her more than 15 times. As if that wasn't enough, he then ran her over twice with his vehicle, even after she was already dead. After committing this horrific crime, he fled the scene and crossed state lines, complicating efforts for law enforcement to track him down. The two had only been dating for about 4 months before his behavior became disturbingly possessive and controlling, ultimately leading to this fatal encounter in the middle of the street. What could have driven someone to commit such a heinous act? Was it sheer foolishness, unchecked jealousy, or simply the actions of an inherently evil person? This tragedy leaves us questioning how such violence could occur and mourning the loss of a remarkable young woman. Before diving into this story, we want to take a moment to extend our heartfelt condolences to the friends, family, and loved ones of Star Michael Tucker. This devastating loss has left an irreplaceable void in the lives of those who knew and cherished her. This story takes us to Pensacola, Florida, a city located in the Panhandle region of the state. Star Michael Latrice Tucker, a 30-year-old originally from California, had strong ties to Pensacola. She graduated from Florida A&M University with a nursing degree and was eagerly working toward completing her final semester of nursing school, despite facing challenges along the way. Afterward, she joined the Air Force, serving as a senior airman in the 919th Special Operations Medical Squadron, stationed at Duke Field in Florida. During her time in school, Star Michael met someone she fell in love with, and their relationship brought her great happiness. They were thrilled to be expecting a child together, celebrating the joy of parenthood with a beautiful baby shower. Not long after, she experienced another milestone when she got engaged, marking what seemed to be the beginning of a bright and hopeful future. What challenges did Star Michael overcome to pursue her dreams, and how did her journey inspire those around her? Star Michael Tucker was a devoted mother to her young son, whom she loved deeply. Unfortunately, her relationship with her partner didn't last long. On the other side of the country, a man named Charles Jerome Carson Dowdy was living a very different life. He was described as a bit of an odd character, single and eager to find the right woman to date.
I hate when I'm dating and talking to somebody and they be like, oh, you're always in the house, you don't ever go nowhere. But they know if I go get a fresh retwist, a fresh fade, and put on some clothes and go outside, I'm gonna be a problem. So you either want me to stay in the house and play this video game or go be a problem. You choose.
In October 2024, Charles met Star Michael Tucker, and the two quickly connected. They began dating, and Charles was overjoyed to have found someone like her. He openly shared his excitement online, posting about their relationship and expressing how lucky he felt. He even wrote, "Been waiting for a healthy relationship and I finally got one." He regularly posted pictures of her and her son, clearly proud to be with her. Star Michael, despite her demanding schedule as a senior airman in the military, was a loving and supportive girlfriend. She went out of her way to cook for Charles and make time for him. She was happy with her life. She had advanced in her military career, embraced motherhood, and found love again. However, as their relationship progressed, cracks began to show. Just 3 months into their relationship, Star Michael started to notice that Charles was extremely possessive and controlling. He wouldn't let her live her life freely and became increasingly difficult to deal with. What hidden red flags in Charles's behavior could have foreshadowed the tragic turn in their relationship? By January 2, 2025, their relationship had spiraled into a toxic situation. That day, they had an argument that escalated to an unimaginable level. Charles became enraged and took out a gun, shooting Star Michael 15 times, hitting her 7 times. As if that wasn't horrifying enough, he then ran her over twice with his car before fleeing the scene in her vehicle.
A News 5 update. Family identified the woman killed in Ferry Pass. 30-year-old Star Michael Latrice Tucker was shot, then run over last night. It happened at an apartment complex on Baldridge Drive, right off East 9 Mile Road. As WKRG News 5's Alexa Daly reports, deputies say her boyfriend is responsible.
When deputies responded to reports of gunfire, they found Star Michael in a parking lot with multiple gun wounds. She was rushed to the hospital but tragically succumbed to her injuries. Meanwhile, law enforcement quickly worked to track Charles. They received information suggesting he was headed toward the Mobile, Alabama area. Shortly after, they located the Jeep Cherokee he had taken, stranded on the interstate just across the Alabama state line with a flat tire. Charles was arrested on the spot, bringing an end to his brief and violent escape. Charles had a troubling past, with records showing he was arrested in Mobile in early 2023 as a fugitive wanted for assault in Texas.
Looking at Carson Dowdy's criminal history, he was arrested in Mobile in 2023 as a fugitive wanted for assault in Texas.
The tragic loss of Star Michael Tucker has left her family devastated and heartbroken, and they have expressed deep sorrow over the senseless act that took her life. It's heartbreaking that a beautiful, hardworking young woman could lose her life at the hands of someone she met just 4 months ago, one family member shared. Among those grieving is Star Michael's younger sister, Raya Tucker, who spoke with raw emotion about the deep loss her family is experiencing.
I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't have all the right words. I'm tired. I haven't slept. I hardly eat. I'm just exhausted. I feel like I'm in a nightmare. He seemed sweet. He seemed innocent. He seemed charming. And he didn't give off he could do something like this. But you never know until it's too late. I don't understand why he did what he did, because he could have just left. I just want justice as of now, and I won't stop until I get it.
In honor of Star Michael's service to her country and the impact she made on those around her, the commander of the 919th Special Operations Wing announced that a memorial service will be held to celebrate her life. The service is scheduled for Sunday at 10 a.m. at Duke Field, Building 3144. Active service members with valid military ID are invited to attend and pay their respects. On Friday, November 26, 2021, a devastating discovery was made. A woman was found inside a home. Investigators quickly uncovered the harrowing truth. She had suffered 58 stab wounds. Authorities identify the victim as 20-year-old Deja Jenkins Minus, a young mother to a 2-month-old baby. Her life was tragically cut short in a way no one could have foreseen.
Accused of murder a young mother in her home. As WBZ's Nick Giovanni tells us, the suspect's social media posts may reveal a motive.
Further investigation revealed that there had been social media posts by the defendant questioning whether he was the father of the child.
What sent shockwaves through the community was the identity of the person responsible for this horrific crime. This is the story of Deja Jenkins Minus, another young mother gone too soon. Deja Jenkins Minus was born on February 15, 1999, to Lamont Jenkins and Latoya Ard Minus. She was the eldest of 2 siblings and shared a close bond with her family, particularly her mother. Deja was cherished as a beloved daughter, sister, niece, cousin, and later as a devoted mother. Growing up in a close-knit family that valued education and personal development, Deja demonstrated a strong sense of curiosity and determination from an early age. During her high school years, Deja excelled both academically and athletically. She participated in community outreach programs and school sports, which allowed her to develop leadership skills and a passion for helping others. This passion led her to pursue a career in social work after graduation. Deja went on to attend college, skillfully balancing her studies with the responsibilities of being a mother. Alongside her dedication to her future, Deja was deeply involved in a relationship with Leonard D. Robinson, also known as Polo Body Dean Rose, an up-and-coming rapper from Boston. The couple never claimed to be perfect, but they appeared happy together, often sharing affectionate moments during outings and posting numerous photos of their closeness on social media. To the outside world, Deja and Leonard seemed like a deeply happy couple. Their frequent displays of affection gave people the impression of a solid and loving relationship. Then came the big announcement: Deja was pregnant. Many believed this joyful news would bring them even closer, strengthening their bond as they prepared for parenthood. Ironically, this marked the beginning of their unraveling. While Deja radiated joy, sharing countless photos of her pregnancy on social media and celebrating with her supportive family, Leonard's reaction was unsettlingly different. He appeared paranoid and withdrawn, a stark contrast to the happiness surrounding Deja's news. His unusual behavior raised questions among those close to the couple. But Leonard's actions weren't without reason. He had genuine concerns weighing heavily on his mind. After Deja gave birth to her daughter, Dailani, on September 20, 2021, Leonard's behavior became even more troubling. He began posting cryptic and distressing messages on social media, openly questioning whether Dailani was truly his child. His posts hinted at suspicions of infidelity on Deja's part, though he never fully disclosed what led him to believe this. Whatever his reasons, one thing became clear: Leonard was adamant about getting a paternity test. While some viewed this as a reasonable request, most believed it was a private matter that should have remained within their relationship. Leonard's decision to air his suspicions publicly raised eyebrows and led many to wonder what was truly happening behind closed doors. Their previous disputes were nothing compared to what happened next. Deja and Leonard became embroiled in a heated online argument, with both airing their grievances publicly. The backlash from these posts created a whirlwind of drama that only seemed to escalate. But this was just the beginning of what would become an unimaginable tragedy. On Thanksgiving Eve, Deja visited her parents with her baby, Dailani. Leonard, however, didn't join them, a decision that wasn't surprising given the rising tension between him and Deja. The strained relationship was further complicated by the awkwardness that had developed between Leonard and Deja's parents due to their very public arguments online. Despite this, Deja and her family were in high spirits, eagerly planning for the following day. It was Dailani's first Thanksgiving, and they wanted it to be a memorable celebration. Deja intended to return home that night to finalize preparations for the holiday and come back the next day for the festivities. Everything seemed set for a joyous occasion. But by Thanksgiving Day, November 26th, Deja and Dailani were nowhere to be found. As the hours passed, Deja's mother, Latoya, and the rest of the family grew increasingly concerned. Repeated calls to Deja went unanswered, either going straight to voicemail or failing to connect. This was entirely out of character for Deja, amplifying their fears. In desperation, they decided to use the Find My iPhone feature to locate her. The tracker revealed that Deja's phone was at Leonard's home in North Boston, the last place anyone had seen her. Instead of immediately involving the police, Latoya made the decision to drive to Leonard's house herself. Upon arrival, she was greeted by an eerie silence and locked doors. Assuming no one was home, she left, only to return later in hopes of seeing some signs of life. Each visit deepened her unease, but nothing could prepare her for the chilling revelations she would learn from Leonard's neighbors. Neighbors confirmed they had seen Deja enter Leonard's apartment, but none of them saw her leave. Overcome with fear after failing to reach her daughter, Latoya made the decision to call 911 and request a welfare check. Police arrived at the scene around 10:45 a.m. to investigate, but before officers could gain entry, a desperate family member of Leonard's climbed through a window to search the home. What they found was a locked bedroom door. Forcing it open, they stumbled upon a horrifying scene. Deja's lifeless body lay near an air mattress. The room bore clear signs of brutal violence. Deja had suffered 58 wounds, and a later autopsy confirmed a fractured neck as the cause of death. Her hands showed defensive wounds, a testament to the fight she put up in her final moments.
What we have in this situation, Your Honor, is that Deja is found in the house that he was living in alone, in his bedroom, which was locked when any witness or the police came to that location. What the medical examiner's office noted was that Deja's neck was fractured, that she had over 58 wounds to her body by a sharp object.
Amid the overwhelming grief of losing Deja, there was one small relief. Her 2-month-old daughter was found unharmed. the investigation quickly intensified. On Saturday, November 27, 2021, officers executed a search warrant at the Llewellyn Street residence. During the search, they recovered several critical pieces of evidence, including a knife that appeared to match the weapon used in the murder. While this discovery brought detectives closer to understanding what had occurred, it also deepened the mystery, leaving more questions than answers. Who could commit such a heinous act against a young mother with so much promise? The community was left in shock, unable to comprehend the tragedy. Deja's family and friends were devastated, grappling with the pain of her loss and the senselessness of her death, especially as it came right after she had celebrated her first Thanksgiving with her baby girl. As investigators pieced together the events leading up to the murder, attention turned to social media. Deja's posts offered a window into her life and mindset. On the surface, everything seemed joyful. Her final Facebook post, written just one day before her tragic death, was filled with optimism and love for her daughter, underscoring the profound tragedy of her loss. Deja had shared on social media, "My daughter will never need anything. Can't wait to celebrate her first Thanksgiving tomorrow." This heartfelt post stood in stark contrast to the horrific events that followed. As investigators reviewed Deja's online activity, they found additional posts that reflected her deep love for her baby and her pride in becoming a mother. These glimpses into her life painted a picture of a devoted young woman, making the brutality of her death all the more incomprehensible. However, a closer examination of her social media accounts revealed troubling details about her relationship with Leonard Robinson, the father of her child. Interactions between them on Facebook hinted at growing tension, and it didn't take long for investigators to connect Leonard to the crime. Posts uncovered during the investigation pointed to an unhealthy and strained dynamic in their relationship, one that may have escalated into a fatal encounter on Thanksgiving Day. Unfortunately, by the time investigators delved into Leonard's online activity, many of his incriminating posts had already been deleted. After fleeing the scene of Deja's death, Leonard was eventually apprehended in Boston. He was charged with murder after police linked him to the crime scene and recovered a knife believed to be the murder weapon. Evidence revealed that Leonard had been at the Llewellyn Street home with Deja shortly before her death. The weight of the evidence led to Leonard being formally charged with the murder of Deja Jenkins Minus. Leonard Robinson was scheduled to be arraigned in Lowell District Court on Tuesday, November 30, 2021, as the case against him began to take shape. The case was handled by prosecutors Tom Brandt and Caitlin Gell, with Susie Marshall serving as the victim witness advocate. During Leonard Robinson's arraignment, the court decided he would be held without bail. The proceedings were emotionally charged, with Deja's grieving family present, seeking justice for their devastating loss.
A Lowell man is now being held without bail, accused of murdering a young mother in her home. As WBZ's Nick Giovanni tells us, the suspect's social media posts may reveal a motive.
The investigation into Deja's tragic death was a collaborative effort involving the Middlesex District Attorney's Office and both the Lowell and Boston Police Departments. Their combined efforts highlighted the severity of the crime and the urgency to bring the perpetrator to justice. Deja's death sent shockwaves through her community, leaving many heartbroken and in disbelief. In her honor, a candlelight vigil was organized, where friends, family, and neighbors came together to mourn the loss of a young, vibrant woman whose life was cut tragically short. Those who knew Deja remembered her as a loving and goal-driven young mother, full of life and ambition. Her mother, LaToya Minus, made a heartfelt public plea for justice, expressing the profound sorrow and numbness she felt in the wake of her daughter's death. She vowed to honor Deja's memory by ensuring her story would not be forgotten.
Just come forward. I'm not angry. I'm more mad that they won't come forward. I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what, but I knew something was wrong. And they told me that my daughter, that she was.
Did they say by who?
No, I don't know yet. She's a very uplifting young lady. They just need to turn themselves in. I'm lost. I'm hurt. I'm numb. I'm angry. And I want justice for my baby and my grandbaby.
LaToya Minus had always envisioned playing a pivotal role in Dailani's life. While she can never fill the void left by Deja's untimely death, LaToya remains the closest and most loving figure Dailani can call a mother. In the wake of Deja's tragic death, her family launched a heartfelt GoFundMe campaign to support Dailani's future. The fundraiser aimed to ensure that Deja's daughter would have access to the resources and opportunities needed to build a bright and secure life. The campaign received an outpouring of support from the community, with many touched by the story and eager to contribute to Dailani's well-being. Following the case's conclusion, Leonard Robinson pleaded not guilty to the charges against him. Though the specific details of his sentencing weren't made public, it is widely believed that he received the maximum punishment for the horrific crime he committed. The community continues to grieve the loss of Deja Jenkins Minus, a vibrant young woman whose promising life was tragically cut short. The justice system's efforts to hold Leonard accountable ensured that Deja's memory would be honored, providing her family with a sense of closure. Stay safe, look out for one another, and we'll see you in the next video.